Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into what it cost us, evolutionarily speaking, to become human.
Talking big brains and walking tall.
Exactly. We're looking at Yuval Noah Harari's ideas in The Cost of Thinking,
Yeah.
but also bringing in some, current paleoanthropology. Sometimes it lines up, sometimes not so much.
Yeah, the science is always moving.
Our mission here is to really get the trade-offs, the surprising details behind how we evolved.
And first up is that massive brain. It's kind of amazing, energetically speaking.
Right. Harari calls it a jumbo brain. It's only, 2-3% of our body weight?
Yeah, tiny fraction. But it burns through 25% of our resting energy. That's huge compared to other apes, like maybe 8% for them.
But it's not just raw size, is it? It's size relative to our bodies, the EQ thing.
Exactly. Our encephalization quotient, it's way up there, around 7.5. Chimps are more like 2.5.
So that's the real standout feature.
That's what really sets us apart, yeah. And how did we feel it? Well, there's the expensive tissue hypothesis.
The idea we traded off other energy-hungry tissues.
Sort of a biceps to neurons idea. The thought is maybe our guts shrank, needed less energy, and maybe our muscles became relatively less massive than other primates, though the muscle part is still kind of debated. Other factors like fat storage might play a role too.
Okay, but why did the brain get so big in the first place? Harari seems a bit like, you don't really know.
Well, he says that, but there are definitely strong hypotheses. It wasn't just one thing, probably.
Like what?
There's the social brain hypothesis, needing bigger brains to handle complex social lives, cooperation, competition.
Okay.
Then the ecological intelligence hypothesis, challenges of finding food, mapping territories, adapting to changing environments.
Right.
And you've got gene culture coevolution. The idea that our genes and our cultural learning, like tool making, sort of pushed each other along. It likely happened gradually over a long, long time.
Harari also suggests that for a long time there wasn't much to show for this bigger brain besides, flint knives.
I think that undersells it a bit. We have Lemequian tools going back maybe 3.3 million years.
Wow, that far.
Yeah, and the Oldowan tools around 2.6 million years. Even if they seem simple, they were revolutionary.
How so?
They opened up new food sources. Importantly, meat and marrow from carcasses. High-energy food.
Fuel for the expensive brain.
Exactly. These tools were likely crucial for supporting that brain growth.
Okay, let's pivot to walking. Bipedalism. Harari notes the obvious upsides, seeing further freeing the hands.
And potentially more energy efficient for covering long distances. Plus, this happened before the really big brain expansion. Think Lucy, Australopithecus.
Right. But it wasn't free, was it? The downsides.
Definitely not. Backaches, neck strain, those are modern complaints with ancient roots.
And the big one Harari focuses on, the obstetrical dilemma.
Yeah, the conflict between having hips narrow enough for efficient walking, but wide enough to birth increasingly large-headed babies.
Which he suggests led to babies being born, prematurely. Very helpless.
Incredibly dependent, yeah. It takes a tribe, as he puts it. That long dependency is key for learning, for social bonds.
But is it just the pelvis size limiting birth timing?
That view is being complemented. There's the EGG hypothesis energetics of gestation and growth.
Okay.
It suggests the mother's metabolic limits, the sheer energy cost of late-stage pregnancy, is also a major factor constraining how long gestation can be. Human mothers already invest a ton of energy.
So maybe not just premature because of hips, but also because mom hits an energy ceiling?
Kind of, yeah. It's likely a mix of factors, but this helplessness, this altriciality...
It has a flip side, right?
A huge one. It means our brains are incredibly plastic after birth. We have this long window for learning, for soaking up culture, for adapting, molten glass ready to be shaped.
Okay, let's talk about where we fit in the food chain. Harari positions Homo sapiens as jumping to the top pretty late, maybe only 100,000 years ago.
Yeah, he paints this picture of us being underdogs for a long time. But there's growing evidence challenging that specific timeline. Some researchers argue that earlier Homo, especially Homo erectus, might have been effective hunters, occupying a pretty high trophic level much, much earlier, based on fossils, tools, even genetic studies related to diet. Think about those Schoningen spears. 400,000 years old, clearly for hunting big game.
So we might have been apex predators or close to it for longer than Harari suggests.
It's a very active area of research, but yeah, that's a distinct possibility.
Harari connects our supposedly rapid rise to the top with lingering fears and anxieties from our underdog past. making us cruel and dangerous.
It's a compelling narrative. It ties into a broader concept in evolutionary psychology, the evolutionary mismatch hypothesis, meaning our brains and behaviors evolved under ancient conditions, the environment of evolutionary adaptiveness, or EEA.
Okay.
And those evolved psychologies might not always be well suited to the drastically different world we live in now, leading to stress, anxiety, maybe even some destructive behaviors.
So wrapping this up, it sounds like becoming human involved some major trade-offs.
Absolutely. Energy for brains versus other tissues, the benefits of walking upright versus the skeletal and childbirth costs.
And the vulnerability of our infants fostering this intense social cooperation and learning.
Exactly. And while Harari gives us a really engaging framework, it's crucial to remember the science is, constantly adding layers, debating details, finding new evidence.
It's not a finished story.
Not at all.
So a final thought for you listening. How much are these ancient evolutionary pressures, these deep trade-offs, still influencing us, our societies, our anxieties, or interactions, even in this high-tech world? Something to think about.
Definitely worth pondering.
Thanks for joining our deep dive today.